Hi, and welcome to A Better Place. Today we have a very special program in store for you as we continue in our series on relationships. We have a special guest who will enlighten us about relationships, but we also have a panel of guests as we continue the discussions on relationships. Stay tuned, we will be right back. Hi, and welcome back to A Better Place. As I mentioned in the intro, we have a special program today as we continue with our topic on relationships. We will be talking to a specialist who's a specialist on relationships, but we also have a panel of special guests as we engage in our discussions on relationship. Mr. Stefan and my panel, welcome to A Better Place.
Thank you. Thank you.
So we're going to start with you, Mr. Stefan, and you could introduce yourself and give the correct pronunciation of your surname and tell us a little bit about what you do.
Well, my name is Stefan Labosier. I'm a certified life and relationship coach. I've been coaching for about 9 years now. I also have 3 books, the bestseller, God, Where Is My Boaz? And I'm just all about helping people with their relationships, not just romantically, but with themselves, with their family, and overall improving their quality of life.
Great. Mr. Cotton.
Thank you for having me on your program, Angelique. I'm Roy Cotton Jr. I am a personal development coach, relationship transformational specialist, and marriage counselor. And I've been counseling with my wife at Victoria's Living Foundation for the last, I would say, 5 years. Premarital counseling, couples counseling, marriage counseling. Thank you for having me on your program.
Okay. Ms. Joyce Rameau.
Hi, my name is Joyce Rameau, and I'm happy to be on this panel.
Hi, my name is Kerwin Celestine. Happy to be here.
My name is Sammy. Happy to be here.
Hi, my name is Georgia Peterkin, counselor in training, philanthropist, and former talk show host, and I'm glad to be here with Angelique.
You are a life coach, a relationship coach. What inspired you to get into that field?
For me, it was all God. You know, it's what God led me to do. And the fact that I've always been allowed into people's lives, people would always open up to me and tell me what's going on, abuse, all kinds of tragedies. And so seeing how people were hurting and struggling behind closed doors contributed to me knowing this is what I needed to do. And so I'm just trying to do my part to help bring healing, bring clarity, and to stop the dysfunction, because we have so many unhealthy, toxic relationships, and it's why society is in the shambles that it's in right now.
Okay, but why do you think we have so many toxic relationships?
Because we don't give proper guidance and we don't set proper examples, and we also don't forgive and heal. And lack of healing is probably the #1 issue people are facing. So they're going into new relationships still holding on to pain from the past, and now they're bringing new issues into this relationship. Not to mention that when you are operating out of a lack of healing, you're going to choose the wrong person. You are not likely to accept the person you love most when you fear being vulnerable, when you fear being put in this position where you can get hurt again. So you now make a safe choice, and that safe choice is usually someone who's not good for you, who can't give you all that you need. And so this now continues the cycle. You have kids, they see this example, they do the same thing. No one has the right perspective on relationships, and so it continues to just be a bad pattern.
Okay, so you're saying guide persons basically in relationships. That's what you do. But how can you guide someone if, you know, getting into a relationship is all based on instinct, it's all based on your feelings. And if your feeling is telling you that someone is good, how do you know that person is not good?
Well, a lot of times people are lying to themselves and they're lying to other people. You know they're not good. You see the red flags, but you want a relationship so bad, so you rationalize reasons why you should give them a chance, why you should hold on longer. Or there's certain benefits they provide and you want that so bad that you will ignore all the bad things you have noticed. It is very rare for someone to say, or for someone to truly have been blindsided and not see anything bad coming from that person. So we do know. We just have to be more honest with ourselves and not be in denial because we want something so bad.
Okay. Mr. Cotton, what do you think about that? You know, choosing partners and knowing or not knowing that it's the right person for you?
I think, to be honest with you, Angelique, and I will say from this standpoint, for the fact of, you know, and I'm speaking from the fact of myself being a believer in Christ, that it is important from that aspect to allow God to actually speak to you in terms of choosing a partner. The thing is, not everyone actually, let's say, believes in Christ, with all due respect. And through that aspect, you know, persons may think, okay, this is a person that they would want to get with because this person speaks well, because this person dresses well. But for the aspect of really being connected to a person that is for you, is really waiting and hearing on what God is saying to you. And I'm saying that from that standpoint, from my belief. But at the same time, you know, I'm open to the fact that there are persons out there who would say, okay, this person looks attractive, this person is someone that I think I can be with. But the important thing is that you've got to take your time. You've got to actually listen to what you may think that you're hearing what you need to hear, but you've got to take time and really listen to what you're not hearing. Take your time and basically analyze, where is this person coming from? What is this person saying? To be able then to gauge if this is the person that you would want to be with.
Okay, so let me ask this question. So if someone is not a Christian, they're not a believer, then what you're saying is that they can't hear or they won't know if this person is right for them? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not saying that that's the case. I'm saying to you and your audience that, you know, there's two distinct aspects here. You have persons who are believers and they would say, okay, I'm waiting God because of their faith. But if you are not a believer in Christ, is about really taking that time. I mean, you should not really have to feel yourself rushed into anything. You should not feel that, you know, it has to happen a la minute that you have to have this person. But you've got to look at certain elements on how this person is presenting themselves, how this person thinks, how you can hear a lot from a person's heart when they speak. And if there's things that you believe that is important for your relationship, or to have a sound relationship, you've got to actually hear if these are the things that person is saying, so that you know then that this makes sense to pursue.
I'm going to come back to you, Stefan. I grew up in a Christian home, Christian upbringing, so there are a lot of morals and principles that I was taught that I followed. But as you get older, you know, you see life differently. And you realize that it's not always everything that was explained to you or that you were exposed to is the reality. So then how do you speak to young persons who are coming up who may not come from a Christian upbringing and have certain Christian values and morals, and have them understand that you have to take your time and listen to your heart or listen to your gut instinct to know if that person is correct, because not everyone is a Christian, and that would be an idealistic world to think that everybody's going to be conform to Christianity or have spiritual values or morals and principles. So let's be realistic here. That's not the case. So how do you speak to persons who don't share those kind of sentiments?
Well, there's core things that need to be in place no matter whether you're a believer or not. So I would tell them about, you need to know who you are first and foremost. Because if you don't, you still will not choose correctly. You will still have a hard time deciphering who is real and who is fake. If you're so busy being fake, how can you tell who's real? So you have to get yourself together. You have to learn who you are. So that process is necessary regardless of your belief system. But also you still have to be honest with yourself, because even if you're not a believer, we all have that gut instinct. We all have that thing that tells us something's not right here. But again, we either choose to ignore it or we embrace it. And there's still fundamental principles like communication, like expressing your concerns. These things still have to be embraced if you want to have a successful relationship, no matter where you come from.
Okay, I'm gonna go over here to Kerwin because Kerwin came very highly recommended to be on this program because he's apparently very vocal on relationships. So Kerwin, what is your take on that? You know, being able to guide young people in helping them to make correct decisions when going into a relationship.
Well, I grew up, like he said, I grew up with, and you said as well, I grew up with morals and teachings, whereas relationships are viewed, and I also experience from other people's relationships. So it's been a learning experience for me because I've been through seeing people who would not respect each other's relationship, and relationships get torn apart. People get hurt, and this coming from me seeing it with my own mother and father, So seeing my mother go through this process, it now taught me how to respect a woman even more, because you can see the hurt that they go through, and as men, some men don't, they don't see those things. Men think differently than women, So for me, seeing my mother go through that as a youth, it helped me to realize, hey, you know what? Women deserve the respect that they have. They brought us here. Without them, we won't be here, So all these gave me reason to respect women, respect relationships, and to lead that path, So those are my reasons for being the guy that I am today. So in every hurt you learn something that can be beneficial to you.
Okay. Sammy, what is your take on that?
I am I love radical. When I say that, I mean I live for love. Without it, I am a different kind of monster. I don't like to be that, but that's how it is. And as the gentleman said earlier on, there are certain core values that needs to be established. And when I told a lady earlier on that all men are the same, she get highly offended. I meant in a sense of all men want to be happy and be loved in a particular kind of way. That's when I meant all men are the same. But we are not educated the same because we come from different environments and we have different inputs. So for me, I try my best to correct it as much as possible. Whenever I get to interact with anyone, I try to make them understand certain values. I might be radical in the way how I say it because I don't have time to waste with a lot of metaphors and different things. So I try to get to the point as fast as possible. Probably I need to be certified as a... because but earlier on when I hear the gentlemen and they're mentioning how they are certified, and I say, but Sammy, you're not certified? You understand? Why? But as a lady in this house. Okay. My certification could be the trial and errors that I went through during different relationships. I could say it like that. Because reality is the best teacher of anything. You understand? So for me, my reason for being on the panel is the radical. You understand? The one that wants love for everybody and wants it to be a particular kind of way. Because it cannot be how you want. And as me and the gentleman said earlier on, there must be the, not religious, but the God aspect of it. Is the only correct procedure. You understand? It's foolproof. Let me say it that way. If you take the godly part towards it, it's more foolproof than trying to do it as a non-believer. It has too much distractions and different things else, and you could lose your part. So I don't always agree with it, but it is one of the best way. Okay?
And Georgia, as one of the ladies on the panel?
My belief is this. Whenever you meet someone, you actually meet their shadow. And 6 months after, a year after, the real person start to come. So you need to take time to welcome the real person. Any of us, as true as we are as individuals, we are not at the offset 100% ourselves. We're shy, we're withdrawn for many reasons.
Well, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we will continue our discussions on relationships.
BE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering.
Hi, and welcome back to A Better Place. So, Stefan, nowadays in the society that we live in, young people have a total different view on relationships. And I really don't know how it got there, but I guess it has evolved over the years. And the fact that music is a great influence, television is a great influence. You know, we have internet, you know, things that we didn't have when I was growing up. Now it's readily available for young people. So that moral and principles and those values are a bit taken away based on what they see, because I know that a lot of them still have parents who instill morals and principles in them. However, when they go out in the real world and they encounter friends, peer pressure is real. And then we see, especially the young men, and I'm not being biased, it's just the way it is, very disrespectful towards women. But our young girls are receptive to that. So how do you, I know you're a life and relationship coach, so you're practically dealing with older people, but how do you encourage, or how would you motivate young people in that area and steer them in the right path?
Well, there's two sides to that. So one, with the women being receptive to the disrespectful behavior, it's going to be hard to get the young men to change if they keep seeing bad behavior being rewarded. Because to them it's the logical choice. Why be the good guy if the good guy gets trampled on and the bad guy gets all the women? So we would have to start reversing that and start rewarding good men, men who are being respectful, so that other men can see that example and say, okay, that's the way to get the woman I want, now I will behave in such ways. With the men, you know, we can talk to them about this, the need to be respectful regardless of what the woman is looking for or receptive to, but it's a hard battle, because I try it. I do have clients who are young, I do have books for young people, but it's very difficult to get through to them with that playing out, as well as the social media, the music, and so on and so forth. Not to mention the fact that a lot of these kids are the products of dysfunctional households. So even though they're being told good morals, what they're seeing is dysfunction and unhealthy relationships. So to them, it doesn't work. Why am I going to try to be with someone for 20-something years if I grew up in a household where my mother was abused for those 20 years? Or where my father was miserable, or he always stepped out on my mother? These types of examples make them say, forget love, forget relationships, let's just do whatever we want to do. So everyone's behaving in a way that they don't want to be vulnerable, is what it really boils down to. And so these convenient relationships, this disrespectful behavior, it's all due to fear of really opening yourself up and allowing yourself to be loved and give love, because they swear with love comes hurt, and they don't want that.
I think we have a question from a panelist for you.
Okay. What happens when young people, young lady, let's say for instance, wants to take her time, but the boy that she's dating has no intention of taking his time, and he will probably force her to do something that she's not ready for. And when he gets what he wants, he just leave her. And my question to this, what I'm saying is, why is it that most men feels that when a woman gives herself too quickly, it looks wrong on her, but isn't it wrong also that a young man or a man will want to have a lady, the third date or whatever? Why doesn't it look bad on him that he seduced her so fast?
Well, first you got to consider that in most of those situations, that man was never serious about her to begin with. His goal from the beginning was to get sex. So to him, he's going to try to get it as fast as possible. Him using that to dismiss her, he already dismissed her. You know, if a man is a man is calling you names, calling you a hoe because you had sex too fast, he probably was calling you a hoe before you ever had sex with him. That's probably why he even tried to talk to you, because he already perceived you in that way. So the woman has to understand that, one, her value is greater than what this man is trying to force her to do, and that he's not worth it if he's not willing to be patient with her. And love is patience. So if he can't be patient, if he can't be understanding and compassionate, then he's not serious about you to begin with. So we have to teach our young girls what the value of love is, the value of respect is, and help them understand you can do better than this. But also consider this, there's gonna always be a different perspective on men and women when it comes to sex, because women will always be seen as the givers and men as the takers. Takers are respected. It's like when you have a business person, they go out there and they're getting that money, you respect them. You look at them in a certain kind of way. When you're the one that's giving, you're the one that's being used. You're the one who seems to be soft and too passive. So it's gonna always have that dynamic when it comes to sex. So I think we can't fight this perspective on things, because I don't think it will ever change. We just need to know how to work within the dynamic that's already in place.
Mr. Cotton.
I can concur with what Stefan stated, because we work a lot with young people, and the thing is, what you recognize is again, as stated before, with the influence of social media, the music. I even could say, for example, just the other day I was walking in town, and there was this young man, and the music that he was playing from his speaker was that popular song now that is Who Are You For? Before I, whatever. And you know, at the end of the day, if this is the type of music that young men are listening to, it doesn't basically state anything positive about the fact of, okay, there's a young lady that they might be interested in, because it's like, it's easy now to take, and this is the way you're supposed to approach them. I think it's so very important that when you are dealing with young people, and in particular young men, that considering the fact, and like how Stefan said, we do come across young people who have really broken families, and this is what they know and this is what they see. And this is where you are, as an adult or as a professional, have to have that patience, have to know exactly what way you would approach this young person to engage conversation, hear what's going on for them, and also take that time to coach them to that level of where they're able to respect a young lady, where they're able to basically know what it is to ask a young lady out, the values. Because at the end of the day, if they're not being exposed to the way how they should approach the opposite sex, this is what they will be prone to do. So you as a grown-up or even as a professional have to be able to meet them where they're at, understand where they're coming from, and be able to gauge there and have patience to make that difference.
You have anything to add on that, Corbin?
Okay, for me, I agree with certain aspects to what they said. I think differently than people. I don't believe music or social media can make, I believe it's influential. I do believe it's influential. But I believe that everything that starts with someone starts at home. That's my belief. You're going to get influence outside, but you can't run from that. You know what I mean? But if the parents at home are teaching the children what they should know, they're seeing it in the parents. You understand where I come from? So the child can see love from the parents. They can see the understanding of their parents. Even if they hear or see something outside, they're going to go back to what they learn at home. You understand? They're going to utilize what they learn at home. And if you raise that child with the understanding, they're going to use their mind to assess that situation and deal with it in a manner of what they were taught. You understand? So I disagree in the sense of the social media and stuff, because I listen to all types of music. I listen to any kind of music. I listen to country music. That has nothing to do with how I assess situations. You understand where I'm coming from? I have a mind of my own. So I think my way, not because someone plays music, you know, and this is something I get a lot because I listen to loud music in my car. I have a loud system in my car. But because of this, people watch you and they already judge you. You understand where I'm coming from? Because of the music that you listen to. You are not defined by the things that you listen to. You understand where I come from?
Well, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we will continue our discussions on relationships.
Bob, I see you got a new couch. Now you don't have anything else to worry about. Uh-oh, but don't worry about it. With your Be Sure home insurance, the contents of your home are all covered for free.
Are you be sure? Be sure.
Yeah, for free.
Hi, and welcome back to A Better Place. We've been joined by two new panelists. I'll let them introduce themselves.
Hi, my name is Jacques Anisette, and thank you for having me on the panel.
Hi, my name is Angie Prince, an educator, and thanks for having me on the panel, Angelique.
Thank you. Okay, so let's get right into it. Sami was about to give his 2 cents on what I talked about and youth and morals in relationships and how we can encourage them to go on the right path.
The problem with this is that society has changed where parents are no longer being able to be home to guide their kids. You understand? So when that does happen, the kids are all home by themselves. They tend to give in to different inputs. Me and him grew up on a different time when our parents was home. They were there to educate us. So as much as we come out into society, we come out done pre-packaged already that, hey, this is not good, this is not good. Because I listen to music. I listen to all kind of music and dancehall music. Some of the most outrageous things I listen to. But it does not influence me in the decision of how I handle my relationship. You understand? So as this, nowadays, the lack of parenting being home is the cause of most of the influence being able to happen to their kids. You can't have everything the way how you want it.
Now, Ms. Prince, you would like to add to that?
Yes, I am a strong believer, a proponent of the fact that we are a product of how we were raised. However, I believe that society doesn't have to influence us to the point where we lose who we are, our identity. And where we have gone wrong, or parenting has gone wrong, is instilling the good morals and values into our future generation.
Thank you all for having been on the panel, and of course I'm definitely going to have you guys back because this is a never-ending topic. I mean, we're all here today because of relationships, right? And the main goal of this program is to bring about a better place and to inspire family life and our public in general to motivate, educate. So thank you all for being here, for sharing your experiences and your knowledge with us. Thank you. And to you, the viewing audience, I would like to thank you for having been a part of A Better Place. Stay tuned for future programs. I am your host, Angelique Kumu.